Bob here, Chopper Bob Customs, and work continues on JD Garage's plasma table. What I'm doing today is I'm getting a place put together for the control box, the laptop computer, and then also a storage space for the actual plasma unit itself for when it's not being used. And I wanted something that I could store that stuff on it. I could use it as a sort of a workbench at the same time, and then also have it be portable so that I could put it out of the way. I think the plasma table itself, since the legs will fold up, I've got a shelf over here on this big shelving unit that I think I'll be able to put it in there. It's probably going to stick out into the shop just a little bit, but I've got stuff scattered all over anyway, so it probably doesn't make much difference. But what I did was I found this cart. This is a welding cart. I found it at a swap meet, gave 20 bucks for it. And I figured I can't buy the casters and the wheels from Harbor Freight for 20 bucks. And I thought I could repurpose it into what I needed to have for it. I've already started to tear it apart. Well, obviously this is where the bottle would have gone, and this is where the welder would have gone. So I've taken this off, and taken this off. I have gone ahead and mounted the air filter for the plasma unit on this end down here. This is I can't remember what it is. But it's a motor air filter, water trap type thing. My understanding is, this will be my first experience with plasma, is that it's very sensitive to dirt and moisture. And so what I've got coming out of my compressor, I've got a water trap right at the outlet that probably doesn't do a whole lot of good because the air's still hot at that point. But then it goes through a hose to a filter water trap. It's got a filter and a water trap in it. So by then it should have cooled down enough so that that water trap is going to be good enough. Then it goes through another hose and comes into this filter trap and then into the plasma. So I think from that aspect, I've got pretty good protection of the plasma unit from contaminants in the air. But I've got that mounted on here. I've made a bracket for it and mounted it to it. So that's good and solid. And then I've got my hose hooked up, and I've got a quick connect right here to hook the air hose up to it. And then the unit itself, it looks like somebody has had trouble with this in the past and they reinforced it, because I believe all this had was this bottom pan, and it looks like it is bent from the weight of the bottle. He probably put a huge bottle on it, and he probably put a big welder on it, and it just would not take the weight. And it bent right here where that support is. Either that or he tried to sit on it or put something heavier on it than he should have. But what he did was he reinforced it with 2 pieces of angle iron. So I'm not going to need this bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off and flip it around and put it up top for the tray for the laptop computer. And then I will be able to store, well, not store, but I'll be able to put the control box right in here, and it'll rest on the angle iron over here. It's a little bit too wide, so I'll probably put a couple of stops on this end so that it can't slide off this way and drop down into the gap I'm going to leave there. Either that, or I may just put a strap across there so that if it does slide forward, it'll be okay. and I'll probably put a stop so it doesn't get into the wheel. And then, as luck would have it, with it sitting just like that, the Lotus, or however you pronounce it, plasma table sits in there just like that, clearing the cart handle, and the legs of this unit actually are the right width that they straddle this unit so it can't slide back and forth. And then I've got a space over here where I can store the cable for the plasma unit, the electrical cable for the control box, and if I want to get it out of the way and I can figure a way to route it around, probably like through there, I'll have a place to store the air line, and the computer cable is small enough that it won't make a difference just resting on the top there. The tray for the laptop needs to be about 28 inches off the ground, which is going to put it, you probably can't see that on the camera, but it's going to put it about right at the top of where this camera is. It's going to be about 3 inches above this. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tear the bottom of this apart. I don't think I'm going to go through that. I won't record that. I'm just going to stop the recording now, and when you come back, I'll have the bottom out and be talking about how I'm going to build the structure here. Okay, so I got it stripped down, got it put back together at that end down there because I had to take the casters off, had to take the handle off. I still got to drill a couple of holes so that this triangulates and keeps this sheet right here from wobbling around. And then I'm going to have to figure out a way to make the support for the laptop table. But when I got it all apart, I realized that there was nothing up here to keep these legs from doing this. And so what I did was, this angle iron actually came with this cart. He had used it as reinforcement, and it's just the proper width to fit between the two frame rails so that the axle, the wheels can't move, and then it also sticks up high enough that I can use it for a stop. So I set the plasma unit in here for storage, and then I set the control box in here and located this, and it just perfectly comes out to where this tire right here clears the control box. So all I'm really going to have to do is come up with some way to prevent the control box from slipping out this way, and it'll be perfect. But I'm going to go ahead and weld this in right now. I cleaned it up a little bit. I'm using a MIG. This isn't going to be under a whole lot of stress, so just a couple of quick welds and it should be in good shape. So now I've got a stop, I've got a good solid frame, and I can build on it from here. So let me reset and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I've done at this end, there you can see the piece of angle iron that I put in to act as a stop for the for the control box. And then I went ahead and I'm starting to use stuff that I had left over from other jobs. I mean, basically I'm still 20 bucks into this if you figure that the other jobs ate up the cost of the material. This was some conduit that I had laying around, electrical conduit, that I'm using as legs for the shelf for the computer. Now, don't do this at home. Do not do this at home. You have to be real careful with this because this is zinc coated, galvanized basically, and you can get metal fume feeder. As you can see, I went ahead and ground as much of it off as I could, and then I was careful not to breathe. Just sort of like Bill Clinton, don't inhale. And these half buys right here, this was left over from when I made the straps in the bottom of the water pan on the plasma table itself. So just pulled the section that I had left of that out of the maybe I'll use it someday pile, and there we have it. So that's where I'm at so far on this. Next thing I'm going to do is see if I can't get the control box so that it won't slide out, and also figure out how I'm going to brace this. This is all braced this way, but I need to brace it this way, just to be sure. And what I may end up doing is running a strip from the shelf itself to the handle back there, because that handle is actually going to be below the height of the shelf. I don't know whether you can see that from this angle or not, but this is taller than that. So let's see what happens next. Okay, so the one thing I didn't realize about this crate is that it actually, the feet on it are strips along the bottom, and there's actually 4 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's so you can set another one down on top of it, because it also has the indentations on the top, so they interlock. Well, the great thing about this is it will slide that way, but it'll catch that foot and it won't drop through. So you actually have to lift it up to get it to fall down over here. So I'm thinking that unless I would put strips across it to raise this side up, it's not really going to go anyplace. So I'm just going to leave it like this. I mean, this is keep it simple, stupid. The other thing that I did was I took the support for the tank, the argon, carbon dioxide, whatever tank you're going to use for welding. I flattened it out. It's not pretty, but then this doesn't need to necessarily be pretty. And I put a brake in it so that it's approximately the same height as the tubular ones that I've got here. And I've got it attached to the original plate down here, so that I'm going to be able to take that long one and set it in here. And probably what I will do is I will probably run a couple of braces from the shelf down to the handle here, so that I give it rigidity this way. It'll be fully triangulated. I'll be able to get the stuff in and out. It'll be simple to do. I'm going to put this on pause. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't get it assembled, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got it all put together. I got the braces in here to the handle. The handle makes a good place to store the airline. It's got about the right height for the keyboard on the laptop. It's not perfect, but this is going to work for what I'm going to use it for. I do have a little bit of room that I can at least peek inside the control box to make sure that the lights are lit and make sure there's nothing bad going on in there. Of course, it'll slide out of there really easily. The PC cable, the USB cable, can be stored right there, as the power cable for the power unit and the fan and so forth can be stored right on top of that. And so can the cord for the plasma, and of course it will be pulled out and taken to the other side of the machine when you're using it. But as it sits right here, it's a nice self-contained unit. It can be rolled out of the way, and yeah, so we're that much closer to running the plasma. I'm gonna get out here tomorrow and do some adjustments to it that need to be done. And quite possibly before the weekend's out, I might be cutting my first piece out. But for now, that's all I'm going to do on this video, because I wanted to get this thing built, and I've done that. Here again, I didn't show all the details because this was kind of a pull parts out of the parts bin and put them together as I went. I just kind of wanted you to see what was involved in putting one together without actually showing you all the labor that was involved. Because there was a lot of drilling and so forth. But at any rate, for now, please subscribe, please like, please comment. This one on the JD's Garage's plasma table has been pretty popular. And so hit that notification bell so you know when the next one's coming out. And like I said, if you got any questions or comments, I would appreciate hearing from you. And yeah, for now, Chopper Bob out.